I chose to do a PowerPoint on chapters 11 and 12, so here it goes. Chapter 11 is shared decision making, empowering teachers. Chapter 12 is communication in schools. I'm going to give you a little background on chapter 11. You have shared decision making, empowering teachers. There are two models addressing how and when teachers should be empowered during the decision-making process. And the first one is the Vroom model of shared decision-making, and that's by Vroom and Yago. And the second one is the Hoy-Tarter model, a simplified model of shared decision-making. The Vroom model of shared decision-making, and it consists of several problem properties that should influence decision-making, time and development constraints, are constrictions on decision making. And we've got enhancing quality of decisions and rules, and that's one is quality rule, two is leader information rule, three is trust rule, and four is problem structure rule. And then you have enhancing acceptance of decisions and rules, and you have acceptance rule, subordinate conflict rule, subordinate commitment rule, subordinate information rule. And here's a little continuation of the Vroom model, decision-making styles. The first one is autocratic, and that's when a leader uses existing information to solve problems unilaterally. The second one is informed autocratic. After gathering needed information, leader solves problem unilaterally. The third one is individual consultative. The leader shares problems with individual subordinates. The fourth is group consultative. Leader shares problem with group members. And five, you have group agreement. Leader shares problem with subordinates as group and evaluates alternatives to try to reach agreement. The Hoy-Tarter model, a simplified model of shared decision making. You have opportunity to share in policy creation, and that's an important factor in teachers' morale and enthusiasm. Decision-making participation relates to teacher satisfaction. Teachers prefer having principals willing to involve them in the decision-making process, and depending on the nature of the problem, teachers do not want too much involvement in making decisions. And we're going to continue with the Hoy-Tarter model, the zone of acceptance. And as subordinates are involved in decision-making, participation is less effective if located within their zone of acceptance. Participation is more effective if located outside their zone of acceptance. Participation will be marginally effective on decisions on which they have experience. Participants will be marginally effective if they have a marginal interest. The test of trust. Are subordinates committed to the organization's mission? Can they be trusted to make decisions in the best interest of the organization? And here are some strategies. You have group consensus, group majority, group advisory, individual advisory, and unilateral decision. Shared decision making and empowering teachers. Leadership roles of an administrator. They're an integrator. They bring groups together for consensus. Parliamentarian, and that facilitates open dialogue and leads democratic process for group. The educator explains opportunities and limitations of issue to reduce change resistance. Solicitor seeks advice from other experts. The director makes unilateral decisions when there are no others with expertise. Developing teachers for decision making. Develop culture focused on school's goals and students coming first. Be authentic with teachers. Develop a culture of trust. Develop knowledge in areas where teacher expertise is lacking. Don't unburden teachers with unimportant decisions. Don't give a decision authority you do not have. Only when they are ready should you engage teachers in shared decision making. Teachers must have useful knowledge, be motivated, and be willing to subordinate their own agendas for the good of the school. Now on to Chapter 12, which is communication in schools. And here's a little bit about communication. Fundamental and integrative process in educational administration. Means sharing ideas, messages, or attitudes to produce understanding and shared meaning. Does not provide all answers to administration problems. It does infiltrate all aspects of school life. It involves messages to express meaning, create understanding, and influence actions. Symbols, signs, and contextual clues. One way, initiated by speaker and ended at listener. The two-way, reciprocal and interactive between speaker and listener. Conversation, debate, instruction, and inquiry. Verbal and nonverbal communication. We use these two types of communication. By use of both, we can enhance competence by improving skills such as sending, listening, and feedback, formal and informal communication. Both are closely related and can work together and are critical to organizations. Formal networks are usually larger and better developed versus informal networks. Formal, sanctioned by organization and directed towards goals of the organization. Informal, grapevines usually used to bypass format. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thank you.